No, I fancy him for it, to be honest. I fancy a man's a bit windy. The other cat's a bit windy. Yeah. You know, so, but he's a donkey. The guy's a donkey, yeah, the other cat.
Conor's on Twitter all the time. He's on his yacht all the time, but guess where he's not? In the ring fighting me, so he can talk all the he wants, but the notorious MMA is scared of Jake Joseph Paul from Disney Channel.
A donkey has a kick as well, so you just got to be worried of that. So, but I just think, mate, weather and that'll come and be careful and I'll be in his face and I just think it's really neat, you know, really neat.
Conor McGregor has finally broken his silence on the potential fight with Jake Paul. Moreover, McGregor's long-anticipated return to the UFC appears to be slipping further into uncertainty. Adding to the intrigue, he's sparked buzz with a rumored boxing match against Logan Paul in India. Meanwhile, discussions have reportedly progressed toward a potential showdown with Jake Paul, tentatively slated for July or September 2025. When McGregor lost to Floyd Mayweather in 2017, that was the last time we saw him in a boxing ring. We must return to 2020, when Conor McGregor and Jake Paul were engaged in a social media altercation. In 2021, Jake shelled out a staggering $100,000 to commission a lavish diamond chain featuring a miniature figure of Conor laid out in defeat. One of the most memorable moments occurred a few weeks ago following Mike Tyson and Jake's fight. The Irishman posted, "They're looking for Pritchard Colon to be the next opponent," which infuriated many users due to the circumstances facing the Puerto Rican former boxer. McGregor ultimately deleted the comment. We'll observe how the negotiations unfold, but it appears both parties are eager to face off, and perhaps the ring is the ideal arena for settling their personal disputes. As reported by ESPN, discussions are already in progress from India to host this fight, setting the stage for what could be a highly entertaining showdown. There are still a lot of unanswered concerns. Did Logan Paul decide to withdraw from the exhibition and go to his brother Jake to negotiate?
When I knock out Nate Diaz and do what Conor couldn't, I think, it only makes sense for him to want that money fight, but I just don't know how serious he's taking fighting at all, and I don't know how serious the fighting world's taking him. Like, who knows if he still has that same appeal. But look, I've always said I'll fight him. I'm down. It's a big, massive event. He obviously has to ask his boss, Dana, if he can do that. I'm my own boss. I make my own decisions. I can fight whoever, wherever, whenever. So he's really tied up, and even if he wants to do it, Dana might not let him do it.
This might signal that Conor McGregor has no plans to return to the octagon, a notion fueling speculation among fans. Some are already mocking him, labeling him finished if he goes through with this boxing exhibition. It was one of the remarks that people read on social media. Whether or not this conflict is necessary will only become clear with time. Moreover, McGregor shared a vague tweet after rumors emerged that he might be facing a different Paul brother next. The Irishman has been absent from the octagon for 3 years, with efforts to schedule a comeback derailed since he withdrew from a UFC 303 bout against Michael Chandler last summer. However, Conor McGregor set social media ablaze last week with a tweet claiming he had reached preliminary agreements for a boxing match with Logan Paul. The announcement sparked a whirlwind of speculation, with many fans assuming he had actually meant Logan's brother, Jake Paul, a far more seasoned boxer. However, it was later revealed that no discussions had taken place. He wrote, "The rumors of a bout with Topuria are false. I am in preliminary agreements with the Ambani family to face Logan Paul in a boxing exhibition in India. I have agreed. I will then seek my return to the octagon." He later confirmed that he would make a career-high purse that would number in the hundreds of millions, adding, "TKO Group, UFC versus WWE. There are levels to this. A big sloppy novice is going to find out. TKO King title. I hold every record and I am coming back to KO this novice and rack in more numbers for the company." Jake Paul initially stated that he would not entertain any negotiations with McGregor's camp or the Ambani family unless the UFC and Dana White were directly involved. Ariel Helwani later corroborated this, highlighting that Jake was the obvious frontrunner following his bout with Mike Tyson. Jake wrote on X, "Now it all makes sense why Conor McGregor and his management team have been desperately trying to get MVP to negotiate for a fight between us." He further added, "As we told them privately, and I'm now saying it publicly, the only way we're willing to explore me versus Conor in a pro boxing MMA fight is if Dana White, UFC are at the table directly or make it clear they are okay with discussions. Conor is washed, needs the Pauls. Logan by however he wants." However, in the preceding days, things may have changed. According to ESPN, Knockout's Salvador Rodriguez tweeted, "Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor on the table for July, August, or September 2025 in India." Rodriguez's tweet sparked a flurry of chatter among fans across social media. Just hours later, McGregor joined the online buzz, dropping a teasing hint of his own. On paper, a matchup with Logan Paul might appear more logical, given the natural connection between WWE and UFC as subsidiaries under the TKO Group umbrella. The older Paul brother recently announced his comeback to WWE, debunking his previous retirement claims. At the Netflix launch press conference, he teased a McGregor-inspired Easter egg, boldly stating, "I'm not here to take part, I'm here to take over." And McGregor made reference to that connection in his first post after the fresh Jake Paul rumors surfaced, merely writing TKO. Jake Paul, sensing the mounting rumors, responded with a mysterious post on his X account. This came after he had previously stated that he would only entertain a bout with McGregor if the UFC and Dana White played a central role in the talks. Meanwhile, a recently leaked video shows Conor training for his upcoming fight.
10 seconds.
A showdown between Jake Paul and Conor McGregor has the potential to be a landmark event in the history of combat sports. With an impressive professional record and wins against several high-profile opponents, Jake Paul has firmly established himself as a formidable contender in the boxing world. Meanwhile, former UFC champion Eddie Alvarez has revealed why Conor McGregor will struggle to escape his UFC contract. Since breaking his leg in their trilogy match against Dustin Poirier in 2021, McGregor has not competed in the UFC. He knocked out Alvarez at UFC 205 8 years ago, making him the first fighter in Dana White's company to hold 2 titles at the same time. Alvarez departed the UFC after losing his lightweight title to McGregor and made his One Championship debut. As a star of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, he is now collaborating with the Irishman once more. Realistically, I think he still has 2 fights left on his UFC contract, Alvarez told MMA Fighting on Wednesday. He added, "I just know how difficult it is, especially when you're that valuable to a company. I haven't been as valuable as Conor, but back when I was basically Bellator's main guy, I know how difficult it is to get out of those contracts. They don't make it easy." In January 2025, Alvarez will make his 3rd appearance under the BKFC brand at Knucklemania 5 versus Jeremy Stevens. According to reports, McGregor has also been considering a move into the bare knuckle promotion, of which he now owns a portion since April. Meanwhile, we know that Jake and White have been locked in a fierce rivalry for the past few years, with the UFC president openly stating he would never collaborate with either him or his sibling. This puts McGregor in a tough spot, as he would need to seek approval from his boss, Dana White, before stepping into the ring with either of the Paul brothers, much like he had to do when he faced Floyd Mayweather. Regarding McGregor's possible attempts to join BKFC, Alvarez acknowledged that a move is unlikely to happen. For him, making the company hundreds of millions of dollars, I don't think it's going to be an easy exit, he said. He added, "I think he still has 2 more fights with the UFC, and I'm not sure how old Conor is, but he's not getting any younger. It's going to be tough for him to fight those fights out and move on to another contract. So realistically, I don't know if he could fight BKFC, and if he does, it'll be maybe when he's older." Fans were taken aback by the news that Conor McGregor is set to make his comeback in an exhibition boxing match. But what truly stunned them was the revelation that he'll be facing off against Logan Paul. At 29, the YouTuber turned WWE sensation is much larger than McGregor, sparking doubts about the Dublin native's chances in the ring. However, Sean O'Malley's coach thinks McGregor could have a surprising edge. Jake Paul, brother of Logan Paul, recently faced off in the biggest fight of his career against Mike Tyson. Despite Tyson being in his late 50s, the statistics suggested that Jake, known as El Gallo, held his own in the ring. Logan was present at the event and was subsequently called out by Tyson for a potential future match, but Logan swiftly declined, throwing a playful jab at the boxing legend. Meanwhile, Tim Welch, coach of Sean O'Malley, revealed that he was there and even had a conversation with the former WWE United States champion. Welch noted that Tyson's physique seemed to have softened compared to the over 200-pound frame he once carried. "Last time I saw Logan, we saw Logan Paul at the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight and talked to him a bit. He's not near as huge as he usually is," Tim Welch stated on his YouTube podcast. He further added, "Usually he looks like he's 210, 6 foot 2 inches and just yoked. This time he looked about 190, maybe 190. On Welch's show, former UFC fighter Joe Riggs brought up the possibility of Logan Paul getting clean from performance-enhancing drugs. However, O'Malley's coach denied any knowledge of Paul ever using PEDs or similar substances. "I don't know," an unsure Welch replied. Still, he's quite fascinated by this upcoming fight and how it will unfold. The last time Conor McGregor entered a boxing ring, he managed to last until the 8th round. However, that was against Floyd Mayweather. Welch also points out that both Logan Paul and McGregor are likely at similar weights, putting McGregor in a favorable position. That's an interesting fight, though. 10 3-minute rounds. Logan Paul's probably going to be bigger. I wonder what weight. Maybe at 185, Welch added. He further said, Logan could probably make 180. Conor McGregor looks like he's walking around 85 or 90. I think Conor would beat him. Tim Welch isn't the only person backing Conor McGregor to come out on top. There's another individual who shares the belief that the Irishman will best Logan Paul. Let's dive into that perspective. Conor McGregor has earned a reputation as one of the most precise and powerful strikers in mixed martial arts. His combination of timing, accuracy, and raw power has led him to secure 19 career knockout victories. In stark contrast, Logan Paul's boxing record is far from impressive. At 29, he remains without a professional win, and his most recent performance against Dylan Dennis, a close associate of McGregor and a skilled BJJ practitioner, failed to make an impact. Despite having a size advantage, Paul was unable to stop Dennis, leaving many unimpressed by his efforts. In light of this, veteran lightweight Michael Johnson argues that Paul's boxing is insufficient to overpower McGregor. Yeah, I'm a ride with Conor on that one just because, Logan ain't gonna outbox him, Johnson stated during an appearance on the Overdogs podcast. In an interview, even former world champion Amir Khan, who faced Canelo Alvarez, shared his forecast. If you look at Logan's Mayweather fight, he went into the ring and beat him, so I'm sure Conor could do the same, Khan told the Sports Daily. There's no official date yet for Conor McGregor's upcoming boxing match. All we know so far is that it's reportedly set to take place in India, though this could change as the situation develops. Jake Paul and Conor McGregor have been engaged in a long-standing feud. The animosity is thought to have started when Paul relentlessly taunted McGregor, while the renowned MMA champion typically chose to ignore the provocations. In recent years, Paul has become a standout figure in both boxing and combat sports as a whole. However, he's frequently scrutinized for choosing to fight MMA veterans or much older opponents, rather than taking on dedicated full-time boxers. The 27-year-old most recently secured a decision victory over the 58-year-old Mike Tyson in November 2024. Conor McGregor has been absent from both MMA and any professional combat sport since July 2021. Back in November, Paul publicly challenged McGregor, who is presently under contract with the UFC, to an open-weight MMA bout. However, experts consider this scenario highly improbable. McGregor's potential exhibition boxing match, particularly with backing from the Ambani family, has sparked speculation that the UFC might take it into consideration. In light of the ongoing rumors surrounding Conor's possible bouts with Logan and Jake, we take a closer look at Jake's enduring feud with the Irish fighter, highlighting moments when the problem child viciously targeted the UFC icon with his insults. Jake Paul made his professional boxing debut in January 2020. Later that same year, he extended a $50 million challenge to Conor McGregor, urging the former UFC featherweight and lightweight champion to face him in the ring. In the process, Paul took aim at McGregor's longtime partner Dee Devlin, who is also the mother of his children. With an Irish flag draped around his shoulders, Paul also appeared to take a dig at Ireland, remarking, "What the is up, you Irish Q*T? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now. Or maybe you're jacking off because you're sick of your wife. She's a 4, Conor. You could do a lot better. But happy Monday." He added, "My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash. Proof of funds. The biggest fight offer you've ever been offered. But you're scared to fight me, Conor. You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a YouTuber." Paul pointed to his alleged pay-per-view triumphs and made a veiled reference to McGregor's lightweight MMA fight with Dustin Poirier, scheduled for January 2021.
And Conor McGregor can say what he wants, but he won't fight me either. So once I knock out Mike Perry, Conor McGregor, let's run it. But you won't do it because you know what's going to happen. You saw what I did to Nate Diaz, who you went toe-to-toe with. So Conor McGregor, lay off the cocaine, get in the gym, and start winning fights, and then maybe we could have a conversation.
Throughout 2021, Jake Paul's stance toward Conor McGregor evolved significantly, capturing the attention of both the MMA community and pop culture at large. Initially, Paul dismissed Dustin Poirier, but he quickly came to the realization that teaming up with Poirier to take on McGregor would be a more strategic move. Ahead of UFC 257, McGregor showed a remarkable level of respect for Poirier, a sharp contrast to the relentless trash talk he directed at the American before their initial matchup in 2014. Following his defeat in the rematch, McGregor's trash-talking alter ego made a fierce comeback. He unleashed a barrage of insults aimed at Dustin and his wife, Jolie Poirier, with both fighters accusing each other of failing to honor donation pledges. In the meantime, Jake Paul flaunted a new Sleepy McGregor chain, which featured an image of McGregor's knockout loss. Claiming its value at $100K, Paul shared it widely on his social media platforms. Following McGregor's brutal leg injury and subsequent first-round TKO defeat to Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. In July 2021, Paul took the opportunity to taunt, offering McGregor a mere $23 for a potential future showdown. Furthermore, Paul forwarded the Sleepy McGregor chain to Dustin, accompanied by a thoughtful message for both him and Jolie. In response, Dustin later took to Twitter, announcing his plan to auction the chain and contribute the funds to his Good Fight Foundation. In August 2023, Jake Paul triumphed over MMA icon Nate Diaz by unanimous decision in their boxing bout. The match sparked backlash from many fans, who argued that Paul was taking on Diaz, a fighter from a considerably lighter weight class in a boxing ring rather than in MMA. Despite the criticism, Paul expressed interest in a rematch, proposing a clash with Diaz, who holds a 1-1 record against Conor McGregor in MMA within the Paul organization. From 2021 to 2024, a notable shift in Paul's insults towards McGregor was his increasing tendency to undermine the Irishman's worth as a legitimate adversary. Following his victory over Diaz, Paul took to the post-fight press conference, where he seemed to downplay Conor McGregor's credibility. Despite repeatedly challenging McGregor, all while insisting he's not a worthy rival, Paul took a jab at McGregor, referencing his supposed struggles with substance use. He said, "I don't care about that guy McGregor. He needs to go to rehab. I want Nate in MMA. I want more professional boxers, and I want Canelo Alvarez." Earlier this year, Conor McGregor sparked attention during a Dual Bits livestream, where he took aim at numerous rivals while appearing to smoke and drink. The video quickly went viral, drawing mixed reactions. Some fans applauded the Dubliner's lively and charismatic presence, while others condemned his smoking and drinking habits. Jake Paul later shared a video on his official YouTube channel, showcasing clips from McGregor's stream alongside his own rendition of the Irish fighter. Additionally, numerous fans speculated that the white powder Paul applied to his face was a deliberate nod to the ongoing cocaine use accusations he has frequently directed at the Notorious. Before Jake Paul's boxing bout with former UFC welterweight and BKFC veteran Mike Perry in July 2024, BKFC co-owner Conor McGregor dismissed Paul as a little dweeb. McGregor confidently predicted that Perry would likely knock out the YouTuber. During their pre-fight press conference, Paul went on a fiery, expletive-laden rant against Perry, McGregor, and other MMA fighters. One of the most captivating storylines in MMA today may soon reach its conclusion. Always eager to deliver unforgettable spectacles,
What I really want is Conor.
The
I'll put
ideal
the
order?
nail in his casket.
Ideally, if you could have it your way, is it Nate, Tommy, Conor? Is KSI anywhere in that equation
Well,
anymore?
if KSI fights Tommy, he's gonna get knocked out.
Yep.
I guess it's all kind of in the air. Time will tell.
Dana White revealed his determination to make the long-anticipated showdown between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall a reality during the UFC Tampa press conference. When asked by a reporter about the status of this highly awaited clash between the reigning and interim heavyweight champions, Dana emphasized that making it happen is a top priority for the UFC in 2025. Even Michael Bisping has weighed in, calling the fight a must-see event, one that could surpass even Conor McGregor's return in the same year. On his YouTube channel, The Count declared that the showdown between the heavyweight champion and the interim champion will be the most significant fight of 2025. While Conor McGregor recently revealed his return to combat sports with a boxing match against Logan Paul, the UFC title bout holds far greater stakes and has generated more fan anticipation. As a result, it appears that McGregor's hopes of securing the year's biggest fight will be overshadowed by the clash of the heavyweights. He said, "Of course, that makes sense. Jones versus Aspinall has to happen. That is the big fight of 2025. In addition to providing further information, Bisping disclosed that the fight might take place during International Fight Week. He said, "It isn't Conor McGregor coming back versus Logan Paul or Jake Paul, even though that's been talked about and tweeted about by Conor McGregor. Real fight fans want to see the heavyweight undisputed championship. They want to see Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. That absolutely has to go down in 2025, and I think it will. International Fight Week would be my pick. However, the British fighter, who has a deep passion for combat sports, shares a different dream for the upcoming year. In a recent video on his official YouTube channel, Aspinall boldly declared that the fight he's most eager to see in 2025 is between UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. The Briton said, "The fight I am most looking forward to the most is Alex versus Ankalaev. What a clash of styles. Southpaw, wrestler, front foot fighter, against a knockout merchant that is Alex Pereira. 2025. That fight has to be made. That could be one of the biggest fights potentially in the UFC, definitely at light heavyweight division. And that is something I'm very much looking forward to. Big guys, knockout power, throwing down. I want to see that." It's important to highlight that Poten has no desire to face the Russian, dismissing him as a boring opponent. The striker also made it clear that he would go to great lengths to hinder his rival's pursuit of the division title, citing disrespect and lies that had been spread about him. Meanwhile, Ankalaev, the top-ranked fighter in the division, continues to criticize the champion, vowing to dethrone him while accusing him of avoiding the fight. So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.